Go to Jenin in the occupied West Bank and speak to the Palestinian affairs analyst Osama Nazzal. Osama, good day to you. Could you start with giving us a personal account? What's life like in Jenin? Are you able to go out? Are you able to see your friends? Can you mingle with other people?
Yeah, of course, the Israeli occupation ended its major aggression on Jenin that lasted 14 days, and about 3 days, the Israeli forces withdrew from the city and its refugee camp. But this doesn't mean that Jenin is free from the Israeli occupiers, as they can return any time they want because it is under the Israeli occupation, and they carried out incursions into some suburbs of Jenin and the nearby villages just last night and the day before. However, it is possible to move within the city and within the nearby villages. It's possible for the people to make shopping, especially we are starting the schooling year in Palestine. It started yesterday, and people are in need for shopping, for buying books, bags, and all that. So I can say that the situation is a little bit alleviated, but the people know well that it is not the end of their suffering and catastrophe as Israel carries out incursions into the city and into any Palestinian city, not only Jenin. Anytime the Israeli military decides to carry out such incursions and such aggressions against the people.
Yeah, and when they carry out these incursions, which of course we've covered extensively because what's happening is absolutely shocking in terms of the world reaction saying, please don't extend the war beyond Gaza. But when they carry out these incursions, Osama, if a Palestinian resident is walking on a street at 1 o'clock in the morning when an Israeli armored vehicle comes by, is that Palestinian likely to die at that moment? Are they being shot at just for standing outside and existing?
Here in the occupied Palestinian territories, whether in Jenin, Tulkarem, Tubas, mainly the northern part of the occupied West Bank, the personal security is completely missing. No Palestinian can expect what time the Israeli occupation forces make out an incursion and they start shooting in every direction and people get killed and injured. Even on the road to Jenin or to any Palestinian city, you can't expect as a Palestinian when the Israeli settler terrorist groups might attack you with fire, with bottle, like Molotov cocktail, with rocks and put your life at risk. As long as the Israeli occupation is continuing for the Palestinian territories, we can talk about security for the Palestinians. The life of every Palestinian citizen is at risk, is threatened all the time, especially the Israeli occupation government unleashed the hands of the Israeli settlers and the settler terroristic groups to attack Palestinians anytime, anywhere. And we all remember that 2 days ago, Israeli settlers killed a 13-year-old Palestinian girl from a small village called Kiryut near Nablus. We can't talk about Palestinians' security as long as the Israeli occupation is continuing.
And that kind of insecurity is, of course, mirrored. It may even be amplified for the people of Gaza. And just to take you back to what's happening there, Osama, what do you make of the international reaction to this clear lack of proportionality of these Israeli attacks, and this latest one on Mawasi being another example?
What happened last night in Mawasi of Khan Yunis and burying the people under the sand alive, using the latest and the gigantic American-made missiles by the Israeli warplanes, is not only heartbreaking, but it is soul-shattering, really. Not only for the Palestinians, but for every human being believing in humanity, in justice, in the right of every person to life. That is soul-shattering, heartbreaking. The Israeli massacre against the people in Al-Mawasi of Khan Yunis was committed in an area classified as safe zone, as the people there have their sheltering tents because they were displaced from the northern part of Gaza and other parts of Gaza, believing that they can protect themselves in these tents in Al-Mawasi area. So Israel is violating the right to life of the Palestinian people and violating every divine and every positive law. And this is encouraged really by the American administration position. As we saw yesterday, the American officials and the White House like vindicating the Israeli war criminal Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and putting the blame on the Palestinian factions in Gaza. This encourages Israel to commit more massacres and more pogroms against the Palestinians. And we are failed as Palestinians by the international community and by all of the humanity. The Palestinians in Gaza have been slaughtered one by one over the past 11 months. And until now, we don't see any concrete action to put an end to the Israeli ongoing massacres and pogroms against displaced Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, defenseless Palestinians.
Osama, you know, there are millions of protesters around the world who agree with everything you have said, but unfortunately, they are not the decision makers and they are not governments. Osama, we always appreciate your contributions. Take care.
Thank you.